asking if that's okay, if you consent to being recorded. And should we start, Sonia, with the video? Okay, so I'm going to make some remarks in a second. My name is Dana Renga. I'm the chair of the Department of French and Italian. You're in for an amazing lineup over the next probably less than an hour, but we're going to start with a little congratulations video that Sonia put together. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to get that ready. And again, if you'd like to turn on your video, we should be fine with bandwidth. Okay, so you should all be able to see this. Hello everyone, my name is Dana Renga and I am the chair of the Department of French and Italian, and together with my sidekick Oliver, who's very proud of you as well, I would like to wish you all an amazing graduation. We're all so very proud of your accomplishments and hope that you celebrate this day. He is really proud of you, he's just sleepy.
To my graduating seniors, je vous souhaite beaucoup de bonheur dans la vie. N'oubliez pas que pour tout bagage, on a 20 ans. Donc, may you stay forever young and keep dancing.
Congratulations, graduates. Well done. So proud of you all.
Hi, everyone. This is Professor Winnie Wong sending you warmest congratulations from Quebec City. We are also very proud of you. We know this has not been an easy semester. But you know, as we say here in Quebec to encourage each other, ça va bien aller. Congratulations.
Congratulations, graduating seniors in French and Italian. We're very sorry that your senior year ended in this strange way and that we weren't able to see you in person these last few weeks. But we love to keep in touch with our alumni, so please let us know how you're doing in the future. We wish you the very best. So this is au revoir and not adieu.
Congratulations, class of 2020, and thank you so very much for deciding to study with us. Our community is all the richer for it. We miss you already, never has that been more true, but make it back to Haggerty someday, and if you do, espresso's on me.
That was so cute. So welcome everybody. We have a lot of people in the room, in the virtual room. This is our first ever virtual graduation ceremony, our second annual graduation ceremony, so we're trying a little bit of everything. So we want to welcome graduates, friends, families, parents, guardians, faculty, staff, graduate students, and for the first time ever, I'm sure there might be some pets in the room. I have my pet down over there, Ollie, and then children. So it takes a village, and I first want to thank all of you in this Zoom room for making this amazing achievement possible, especially during a time when we have all experienced profound changes in our lives, adapting quickly to ever-changing circumstances. The Department of Italian is thrilled and honored that you are spending the afternoon with us this blustery day. If you're in Ohio, you know it's really cold. Ohio State is such a large place with more than 57,000 students, more than 200 majors and minors, and a massive, vast campus, or I guess I should say campuses. And at the Department of French and Italian, we pride ourselves on creating a close-knit community, even though we're kind of spread all over the place right now, that fosters the intellectual and personal growth of our students in all of our classes, whether those are in our introductory general education classes, classes for our majors and minors, our world language courses, our graduate courses, our study abroad programs that take place on multiple continents. And we're actually offering those online this summer. So we're trying to bring students virtually abroad when they're more constrained in terms of their movement. And in our service learning courses that take place in the Columbus community. So we have almost, I think it's 99 majors and minors graduating over the last few semesters with us in a degree in one of the following. So either a Bachelor of Arts in French, a Bachelor of Arts in Italian, a Bachelor of Arts in Romance Studies with a focus in either Italian or French. We have graduates receiving a minor degree in Italian and a minor degree in French. And we also have 2 students receiving Masters of Arts degrees in Italian Studies, and I see one of them over there. Most crucially, I would like to congratulate all the graduates on the significant achievement, and on the behalf of the department, thank you all for spending the last few years with us in FRIT, as we like to call ourselves. I'd also like to acknowledge our amazing team of graduate students, of instructors, and of staff that make this department, I think, such an amazing place to call home. I've been here for 13 years and I couldn't imagine working anywhere else, I have to say. And a very special thanks to our academic program coordinator, who many of you know, Sonia, who put together the graduation ceremony, the videos, and the whole kind of event. So it's really awesome. I know that several of our graduates have benefited on behalf of a fellow Buckeye, and I just want to take a moment to thank our many dedicated alums, and just remind you all that some of you received tuition awards or help to study abroad from people you've never ever met in your life, and they care so deeply about you, and just kind of remember that generosity as you go out into the world. We hope you stay in touch with us. We love hearing from our alums, as Professor Wilging noted. And so send us your news. We'll post it all over social media. We are really, really proud of you. And as of now, you're all official alum of the Department of French and Italian. So you can add that to your resume if you like. We're honored and proud by all of your accomplishments, and we look forward to hearing from you as you go out into the world as global citizens and change the world for the better. There's a lot of opportunity for that right now, so I just commend that to you, that challenge in a difficult time. It's a great time to do wonderful things to change the world. You can do that by speaking many languages, embracing diverse cultures, and engaging in really exciting conversations on topics as varied as Mediterranean cuisine, medieval fashion, romance, chivalry, intercultural competency, transatlantic frenemies, I just love to say that, Francophone musicians and graphic novels, Italian mobsters and creative writing, among many, many other engaging topics. Congratulations to all of you. Yay! And you could use, the fun icons that we're going to use when we kind of virtually hand out our degrees. There's claps, there's thumbs up. Oh, look, see, good. So I now have the honor and the privilege of introducing our first speaker. So the way this is going to go, if you've seen the online program, we're going to have a few speakers, and then we're going to hand out virtual degrees, and then we have a really moving message that includes many of our graduates' thoughts, and then we have some virtual chat rooms where you can meet with some faculty. So we're really, really excited that Ross Guthrie has accepted the invitation to speak to you all today. He's a spring 2020 graduate, and with honors degrees in both economics and French, and on top of that, because he wasn't busy enough, he has a minor degree in mathematics. He'll continue his studies, as he's really privileged to have been awarded an incredibly competitive Fulbright grant to pursue a master's degree in data science. Just to put all of that together. So think of what you guys can do with your lives with all of these wonderful degrees at the ESS-EC Business School in Paris. So please join me in welcoming Ross. Yay. And I'll mute myself and mute.
I'm assuming everyone can hear me. Thumbs up. Cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Professor Renga, faculty, staff, family members, fellow graduates, and above all, friends, good afternoon. Welcome again to the Department of French and Italian's graduation ceremony. We are gathered here today to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2020. And although we are not physically together in the Haggerty Hall courtyard, it brings me great joy to see you all here today. I'd like to thank the department, as well as Professors Wilging and Mark Scores, for extending me the invitation to speak. To begin, I'd like to share one of my favorite quotes with you, and because this is, after all, the Department of French and Italian, it's only fitting that the quote comes from an essay entitled Garlic. Novelist Jean-Claude Izzo writes, "Eat garlic and drink wine. That's life, because it's hard to get by in life without garlic and wine." Taken at face value, it may appear as though I'm advocating a strict regimen of pasta and Pinot Noir during quarantine, and I am. Dietary advice aside, Izzo's sentiment strikes a chord with me, not because it's here we go. Not because it's I want to say very service level. Otherwise, it encapsulates a mindset that we've all likely encountered at some point in the past few weeks. One that places a renewed emphasis on reevaluating and taking stock of what matters to us in life. That is to say, determining what constitutes our garlic and wine. What matters to each of us is different, but I'd be willing to bet that a support system made up of friends, family members, and mentors is something that we all have in common. These are the people you lean on during difficult times. They're the ones who give you direction when you feel aimless. Personally, I have been amazed by the efforts undertaken by those in my support system over the past few weeks to help get me through. These were weeks when many of us would have been celebrating with friends, saying our final goodbyes, and making memories to last a lifetime. Just last week, many in my life sent my parents a short note commemorating my graduation. And to them, it may have seemed insignificant at the time to take 5 minutes and write a small note. But to me, their collective action made a huge difference. So I encourage you to from wherever you're joining us, I encourage you to take a second and reflect and really identify those in your life who made such a difference for you. They deserve your sincere thanks and gratitude. Earlier in the same essay, Izzo praises food's power to unite people without exception around the kitchen table. Our table, the Department of French and Italian's table, is one at which I would be happily seated. Dining with us this afternoon are individuals who have challenged us to be careful skeptics of the information arguments presented to us, and individuals who have illustrated to us the importance and power of a cross-cultural transnational dialogue. To the graduates and family members who, like me, are nervous about taking the next step into a world that's incapable of providing us sure footing, know that these individuals have worked tirelessly to ensure our success. Our times demand these skills. So Jacques, Jack, Giovanni, whatever your name is, the FRIT community has your back. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I'd like to thank the department for an incomparable education and family members for their steadfast support. Your presence here today shows just how much you care. And fellow graduates, congratulations. I'm lucky to have been your classmate. Now I best be concluding because there's pasta to drain and a bottle of Pinot to uncork. Thank you. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ross. That was absolutely wonderful. Just precise and incisive and eloquent and hilarious to this moment. So thank you very much for sharing. And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Sonia, for organizing this. Thank you all for being here, for giving me an opportunity to wear my dress shoes for the first time in 65 days. It's wild. And I'm delighted to have an occasion to commemorate something special. And this is indeed special. It is special for hard reasons as well. Had we gathered a year ago today in a grand hall in Haggerty, there would have been uncertainty in your hearts. It is the nature of an event like this to balance joy and excitement with a sense of real uncertainty about what lies ahead. And those uncertainties, of course, have been rendered painfully sharp in these days, in which so much of what will happen in a week, in a month, in a semester, in a year, is beyond our ability to predict. I think that one of the things that has been so hard about this moment for me is that both uncertainty and familiarity have been so radically changed. Of course, not everything about uncertainty is bad, and I'm sure that all of you, like me, wish you could escape to some far-off location and find new smells and new tastes and new sights. Because even if the world's uncertain, my week sure isn't. I mean, I know exactly what I'll be doing tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And it seems that in a certain sense, the best versions of uncertainty and familiarity have been largely taken from us. And that's really hard. That's really hard. And so though I have what I hope will be a joyful story to tell and a few thoughts to share, the first thing to do is stand together and feel tethered to each other in this moment, knowing that even if we are in our separate domiciles, scattered across the city and state and perhaps the country, we are together, we're not alone. In times like this, those of you who know me won't be surprised, and I suppose any of you who saw my job title won't be surprised either. I tend to turn to stories. not because they provide us with simple certainty, but because they help us live with uncertainty. They help us bear uncertainty. And the last few months, I have been thinking about a story by Giovanni Boccaccio a great deal. And so I would like to share a brief summary of it, as well as a few thoughts, and one joyful scene. The story is that of Messer Torello and Saladin. Saladin is the grand general of the Muslim army. This is the time of the Third Crusade, and on the eve of that crusade, he heads to Europe under disguise to do a reconnaissance mission, where in his travels he encounters a wealthy man on a side road in Pavia, northern Italy, who treats him with such magical kindness, invites him into his house, and just revels in sharing the most abundant version of hospitality imaginable. And Saladin is truly awestruck and moved to have been treated with such tender generosity. A few years later, it's time now for the war to begin, and Torello must bid adieu to his beautiful and incredibly kind and smart wife. And he tells her that were he to die during his travels, she will need to remarry. And she says, I would never. And he says, dear heart, I know that that is what you would wish, but your brothers will make you marry another rich guy. So just wait 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day if you find out that I have passed, and then please live a happy life with a light heart. So he sets sail, but is unfortunately captured in Egypt and must spend a number of months in jail until it's revealed that he has some skills that make him useful for the Egyptian court. And slowly but surely, he comes across Saladin, who does not recognize his friend because he has been so changed by the months of trauma, but recognizes that he's a special man. And over time, they become fast friends. Over a few months, they become close friends, and finally their friendship is revealed as Saladin recognizes Torello to be that kind man who shared such generosity with him back in Italy. And though Torello wishes to return to his wife, he is learning so much and assumes that she still knows that he's alive. And so they enjoy their friendship, this beautiful cross-cultural friendship. But he discovers that a man with the same name from just a town over had passed away. And sadly, his wife is likely to remarry on, guess what, the very next day. And what can he do? He's in Egypt, she's back in Italy. Saladin says, I know what, I have a magician. I will be able to transport you by magic in a single moment so that you can be back home. So he ladens this bed with gifts of absolute bounty, jewels and crowns and scimitars. And Torello is all dressed up in the finest Egyptian garb, a huge turban, and they bid fond farewell. And with a magical whisking away, he returns to Pavia. It's a great comic effect because he lands in a church and the friar freaks out, you can imagine. But at that moment, he makes it to his wife's wedding just in the nick of time. He's unrecognized by everyone because of his garb and the years of change. But he decides to reunite with her in this special fashion. He takes his wedding ring and places it into a cup of wine and has it sent to her. And this is what she does in response. In deference to the custom of his country, she took the glass of wine, removed the lid, and put it to her lips. At that moment, she caught sight of the ring. After gazing at it for some time without saying a word, she identified it as the one she had given Messer Torello when he left her. She then picked it up and stared intently at the man she had assumed was a stranger. Now that she could see who he really was, she seized the table in front of her and hurled it to the ground, shouting as if she had gone mad, "This is my lord, this is really Messer Torello." Then she dashed over to where he was sitting, and without giving a thought to her clothing or any of the things on the table, she flung herself across it as far as she could and hugged him to her in a tight embrace. I think it's the best hug in the history of literature. And that has been one of the reasons why it has been a particular treasure to me in the last weeks and months. I've loved this story for about half of my life, but in this time of Corona, I actually feel like I understand parts of it for the first time. Maybe that shouldn't be surprising. Giovanni Boccaccio, as some of you may know, was writing this in the aftermath of the bubonic plague. The word quarantine hadn't even been invented yet, but perhaps he was writing it in a situation quite similar to our own. But I also find it to be moving
and helpful, because I think that it both gives voice to some of the difficulties of this moment and gives us some ideas about what we can do to lighten the load and envisage a hopeful and aspirational future. The first is that this magical moment comes from cross-cultural friendship, from a moment of contact between an Egyptian and an Italian, a Muslim and a Christian, who, because they just forego national boundaries, are able to unlock something special. And that's something that we need to be vigilant of, first and foremost, because of the great deal of compassion all of us must feel for those international students and those who have received, who have been suffering from persecution in these days. But also because it is at its heart about hospitality, as so many of the great old stories are. And my friends, what is hospitality going to look like in the coming weeks and months and years and decades? I don't know. But if anyone can figure it out, it is you, you wonderful 2020 alums, you with your creative empathy, you with the skills that you have honed in your time with us. You will be able to figure out how you can be hospitable without letting someone into your house, what it means to be a good neighbor, especially to strangers, especially to foreigners. And then, of course, there's that hug. And what a strange world, my friends, that the magical transportation by bed is just about as fantastic as a hug in this story, right? I mean, the idea of a hug feels as much like science fiction as being able to magically be whisked away from Egypt to Italy in a single second. But I think there too, there is something for us to think about. And that is our capacity to find pleasure, our capacity to find joy. And I know that each and every one of you has both found and nourished that capacity in your studies in French and Italian. Of course, you've learned important things. Of course, you developed skills you'll be able to use in any job, but you've also, I hope, just had fun. Speaking Italian and French is fun. And this is an urgent moment to find and share joy. So that is one of the mandates that you carry with you. But finally, I think that as hugs have seemed more foreign, the magical transportation, this teleportation of Torello has in the last weeks felt a little more familiar to me. And it's made me think, as I'm sure many of you have, that there are a lot of capacities we have nourished and didn't even realize it. Now, of course, there is no literal teleportation, and yet all of you, in your own ways, have experienced this. It's a leap. It's a leap you've taken every single time you've spoken a word of French or Italian. It's a leap you've taken every single time you've let your curiosity spur you to learn stories and discover the dignity of cultures far from home. And it's a leap that you've taken every time you've had the courage to let your sense of self wander beyond the horizon, right? The gods of arbitrary boundaries looked down and said, you will be born in this nation and speak this language. And you said, no, thanks. I think I'd actually like to learn another one. I'd actually like to wander a little bit. Let my words, let my mind, let my heart wander into other places. And that is why, though I feel such acute compassion for all of you, I'm not worried, because you've done this. You're ready for this. And so as you go forth, remember to be creatively empathetic to strangers. Remember to find joy and to hug anyone who wants one. And that's something we can do again. Until then, find the cultural things, find the joyful daily things that make you feel hugged. And finally, anytime the world feels a little smaller than you would like it to be, remember just to take that leap. Once again, go a little farther each time, and you'll find the direction you're supposed to go. So, buona fortuna, bon chance, the very, very best of luck to you all.
Thank you so much, Aras and Jonathan. Amongst other things, you both talked about wine and just the wonderful value of exchange and getting together and just very hopeful stories in troubled times. So I just want to thank both of you for your comments. And now we get to announce some degrees. We're not going to announce all of the degrees over the last few terms, but just those who have RSVP'd, and then we'll send videos to those who can't make it. This is a very, very exciting time. This is when we really want you to clap and use your clap icons on the reactions towards the bottom right. So the reactions, you can thumbs up, you can clap, you can, you know, unmute your microphone and go woo, anything you like. So we have 2 Masters of Arts graduates in Italian Studies. The first is here with us. I see him, Demetrio Antolini. And also Fiona Ward. You'll have to yay with me because I have this really high-pitched yay. So Janice is helping out. We're now going to move on to our major in French. And I'm going to state the name and then the degrees that they've received, either single, double, major, and some minors. Rosie Cantor has a double major in French and psychology. Yay, Rosie! Megan Donnermeyer has a double honors major in French and psychology. Woo! Congratulations, that's awesome. Oh, that's great. She get all the bark. Chloe Goodman has a double major in French and economics. Go, Chloe. Hey. Well, so these are alphabetical, but this is odd because now we have Ross Guthrie with a double honors major in French and economics with a minor in mathematics. Woo! Yay! Cecilia, I want to say Cecilia, but Cecilia Holt, I believe, has a double major in French and in international relations diplomacy. Okay. Wow. That's great. Kiki Ho has a double major in French and sociology. Kiki. Erin Kafka has a double major in French and accounting. Congratulations, Erin. I saw somewhere. Aidan McMurray has a double honors major. He might win the major minor prize. Double honors major in French and international studies, as well as 2 minors, 1 in history and 1 in philosophy. Congratulations, Aidan. Ojichi Mueden has a major in French and cool double minors.
They're probably not doing me with French.
Huh? Oh, a double minor in screenwriting and studio art. And Alexi Vallo has.
I'm not in with French. Roman studies.
Oh. Okay, we'll correct that. I'll read that. Send us a chat. Alexi Vallo has a double major in French and chemistry. I want to announce that properly. Yeah. And then moving on to, we have a major in Italian, Janae Spain, who has a major in Italian and then double minors in psychology and international relations and diplomacy. Hurrah!
Evviva!
Evviva! We have some romance studies majors. We have Aliyah Jones has a major in romance studies, which also includes a minor. Those are really hefty majors. Congratulations, Aliyah. Jacob Mountain is an honors major in romance studies and also in international studies, so double major.
Oh, Jacob.
Oh, Mackenzie Wright has a major in romance studies and a minor in medical humanities. Hurrah!
Wow!
That's a great minor. Moving on to our minors in French. Abigail Bova has a major in international studies with a specialization in African studies and a minor in French. That's great.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Emily Dawson has a major in Japanese and a minor in French. That's a very complex and wonderfully combined major and minor. Alana Johnson has a major in economics and a minor in French. Congratulations. Umu Fofana has a major in biochemistry and a minor in French. Congratulations. Jonathan Carcour has a major in computer science engineering and a minor in French. Congratulations, Jonathan. Rachel Liu is an honors major in microbiology and a minor in French. Congratulations, Rachel. And Sierra Tiede has a major in international studies and a minor in French. Congratulations. Moving on to our minors in Italian. Audrey Ellison has a major in biology and a minor in Italian. Cool. Oh, wow. I've always wanted to do this. Doug Moreland has a major in studio art in glass and double minors in both Italian and history of art. Yay.
Hooray.
Juan Tromonton is an honors major in logistics management with both minors in Italian and engineering. Congratulations. Elizabeth Troiano is an honors major in both psychology and linguistics and a minor in Italian. Congratulations, Elizabeth.
Elisabetta.
So let's do a round of applause to all of our majors and minors who are with us today and who couldn't make it. Congratulations, everyone. I'm going to pass it over to Sonia for concluding remarks, and then we're going to move into some chat rooms if you'd like to talk with your professors.
You know, we have one more video to watch first.
Oh, yes, and we have a video to watch first. Sorry, yes, and yes, I'm going to get that ready right now. Unmuting. I tried really hard to manage the multitasking during the transition to Zoom, and I think I got a little better, but not completely. So bear with me. I will now put on our video. And this is really cute. That's awesome. Yay.
Did Sonia make that?
Yes, Sonia made that. Great. And that's a perfect transition to turn it over to Sonia.
It is. So folks, I just want to say thank you again to everybody for joining us today, for letting us celebrate with you, and for joining us for the last 4 or 5 years. It's been so wonderful to get to know all of you. As we mentioned before, this concludes the first portion of the ceremony, but you can now visit with all of the faculty, all of your professors in separate Zoom rooms. They're all here and they really would love to congratulate you personally. So please visit them. You all received the link to the website that we created for this ceremony. All you have to do is go in there and click on the link with the name of the person you'd like to chat with. Just give them a second, but they'll be in the rooms there. So it's just one quick click. It should be very simple. Please do check in. I'll stay here in case I can be of any help to anybody. We will also have both of the videos from today on that same website very shortly. So if you want to look at them with slightly better quality, you can check them out there. And finally, please do stay in touch with us via social media, via email, phone, whatever you like. We really would love to see what you do next and keep in touch. So thank you.
Yay. Everyone unmute, come on.
Yay! Turn on that mic.
Yeah, turn on the mic. Cool. Okay, we'll see you all soon.
That's all.
Ciao tutti.
Do I have to go somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just go to that page and click
Oh,
on the link
sorry.
with your name.
Yeah.
Just a different Zoom room, but
okay,
there's-
sorry.
But it asked me for like a password and stuff, and
did it? It shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll log into that room and help you out. I'll try to log into all of them.
Kill Surprise, right?